Both my parents are part of the Methodist Church. We never really talked about faith very much. We'd go to Sunday church service every once in a while. But that was about the extent of it. I would pray, but I never really had a relationship with God, I would say. I never really had a reason to believe. And I remember sitting down and talking with my mom about it. And I was like, I don't believe in God anymore. My name is Ben Andrews. I'm a junior at Ohio State, and this is my journey with Buckeye Catholic. So my junior year, I got really big into modern spirituality, New Age stuff. But that ultimately led me to feeling pretty empty. I would get sometimes a short-term bump, but ultimately it just kept on bringing me lower and lower. I kept on relying on myself, but I was failing because I was so empty when I kept on looking inwards. I just came up dry, and there was nothing there. And yeah, that just just was a whole theme for a couple years where I just had nothing, it felt like. So yeah, it's a little bit before that. So my junior year, my buddy invited me to FCA, and I was still pretty anti Christianity, but I went just for the social bit and free food. The presentations they gave, I thought they were kind of interesting. I would zone out for most of them, but I started to see holes in my own spirituality, and that ultimately led up to the point where my adult leader, he pulled me aside one time, and he just very calmly, it was very chill, it was not aggressive at all. It was hey, why don't you believe in this? And I was I don't have a reason to believe. And he was it was just such a prompt. It was didn't feel forced at all. Didn't feel he expected anything of me. It was just so open-ended. It was well, why don't you just pray and ask God? And it was something in that moment hit me. It was it really kind of sunk into me. And I was okay. It kind of, I don't really know how to describe it, but I got curious about it, I guess. As soon as he said that, or after we finished, I walked out of the building and I went to the parking lot. And I remember it was night out, there was the cars there, and I just I did the whole I looked up at the sky and I was asked God. I don't remember exactly what I asked him, but I think it was something along the lines of if you're real, please let me know. So it was about 2 weeks later. I was on Thanksgiving break. I think I had forgotten about praying to God. I hadn't really looked into it anymore. It was just something I did, kind of forgot about. All of a sudden, I'm just filled. I start, my entire body gets chills, but it's not the kind of chills when you listen to a good song or watch a good movie or something emotionally clicks with you. It's it's a piece of ice and I just got shattered. It's I just start crying, and I felt all of my beliefs had just been cut in half. I had just been just something immediately had changed in me, and I'm oh my gosh, I'm Jesus, you're real, you, the Jesus I heard about through FCA or from when I was a kid, that's real, you're a God, that's who you say you are. I felt overwhelmingly loved in that moment. And that kind of catapulted it into me forming a relationship with God. And in that spring, my buddy I was living with, his name's Michael, we were part of a non-denominational group called Crew on campus. And so our friend that we were in Bible study with introduced us to this girl named Sarah. It was oh yeah, she can, you guys should meet her, she's super cool. So we got lunch with her one day. She was just so open about her faith, and her family had converted when she was younger, and she had always been questioned, or she knew all the answers, all the apologetics for the common misconceptions about the faith. And the way she explained everything, totally just kind of wiped away my misconception, kind of cleaned the mirror, and I realized oh, a lot of these things actually make a lot of sense. And I developed this really intense desire to visit Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, but also to receive him. And I still kind of struggle with it, I still have my doubts, but that led me to, when I came back to Ohio, to sign up for OCIA here. And I was just fascinated by everything the faith taught. So I was received into the church last Easter, and I felt I had a pretty strong faith, but like I was going to adoration, I was doing a holy hour almost every day. Like I was really frequenting the sacraments, just going to daily mass all the time. But during the summer, I got really busy with my job, and I would pray, I would pray, but I'd visit the tabernacle like almost every day, but it wasn't for very long. And it made me realize how important community was, like in my faith journey, and like how much I really needed that, especially when I'm like spiritually young still, like I'm still really new to it. But like I remember my first OCA class this year, like we show up and it's like all the tables are filled. It's like all these people, like, I mean, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, like some seniors. And it's like everyone wants it. Like everyone's interested, and like a lot of people, it's not even like the whole like classic thing where it's like people convert because they're significant other or whatever. It's like people are like doing this out of their own like will. Like they don't have exposure to Catholicism, but they've like somehow been drawn to the church. I think it has to be something with Buckeye Catholic, like how it's so available, or how it's like either SPL or Focus, or like Buckeye Catholic as a whole is like reaching out to campus, like to ministering to people, or everyone in here is involved. It's like, I don't know, witnessing to their classmates, or just like bringing people to Bible study. It's not just like something of the past, you know? It's not like just modern culture's destroying Christianity. It's like, it's growing, like actively in Columbus.